what's going on? So tonight I'm pretty excited to be making this video because I am finally doing a long-awaited book haul. It's been a couple of months since I did a real book haul. I think the last one I did was the one about all the books that I got in England and stuff. That was at the end of July. So, needless to say, I have a few books that have piled up since then that I've accumulated and bought and had a few things given to me and whatsoever. I've sort of been making a point since England to not spend so much money. So that's part of the reason why I haven't really been doing a book haul video every month, because my hauls haven't really been significant. But this month, especially October, I got my hands on a few books that were given to me. I have a book outlet unboxing that I'm going to do as part of it, and I bought a few books from the store as well. So, like, without further ado, let's just jump right into this. Okay, so I figured that I would start with the book outlet unboxing, kick off the video that way. These are my most recent purchases. I love Book Outlet, and I've been specifically waiting for some books to go up on the site so that I could buy them, and finally they did, so I'm really excited that they've arrived. So the first book that I have from Book Outlet is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. In my last Book Outlet haul, I got the second book in the series, which is Siege and Storm. And so when I saw Ruin and Rising up there, I jumped right on it. I unfortunately still don't have the first book, but hopefully I will see it up on Book Outlet very soon, because I really want to read this series. I've heard nothing but good things about it. The next book I have was sort of a spontaneous choice. It is Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, and I'm actually kind of excited about this book. I watched the movie and it was alright. I thought it was a little bit cheesy, but I've actually heard really good things about this novel. This book and the movie is about like a zombie apocalypse, but it's written from the perspective of the zombies. So you kind of get to see, like, dive into the thoughts of this zombie, and he falls in love with this human girl. I'm excited to read it. I'm excited about the creativity of the concept of this book. The next 4 books in this haul I'm really excited about. They were basically the whole reason for me ordering from Book Outlet. I've been collecting the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series through Book Outlet. I've been waiting for the hardcovers to come on. I now have book 1. We've got Clockwork Angel, and book 2. Clockwork Prince. I already have the 3rd one from my last Book Outlet haul, so I now have the entire Infernal Devices trilogy, which is very exciting, but I don't think I want to dive into this until after I read the Mortal Instruments. And I also found book 4, City of Fallen Angels, to the Mortal Instruments series. I'm getting closer. I also have City of Lost Souls and City of Heavenly Fire, which are book 5 and 6. So I just need books 1 to 3, and I will be good to go here. And the last one I got is also sort of in the same vein. It's the Bane Chronicles. It's a companion book to the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices series. It's written by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson. So I got it basically because it was on Book Outlet for cheap, and it's a companion novel, and so therefore why not? I'm actually super pumped about this Book Outlet haul. I got quite a few books knocked off my list with that, especially in regards to those 2 particular series. So yeah, let's move on to the books that were just I bought or received randomly. So the first one I got way back in August. My boyfriend went on tour with his band to Western Canada, and he was nice enough to bring me a souvenir, and what better souvenir than a book? He bought me The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's called The Trilogy of Force. We watched The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy a couple months prior together, and I loved it. It was hilarious, so I'm actually really excited to read the book. They're about this man named Arthur Dent who's like into routine. Like, he loves just having the same routine day in and day out. One day, the entire Earth gets demolished by aliens who are trying to make like a bypass through the solar system, and Earth is in the way. So they basically destroy Earth, and he kind of gets caught up in the whole thing because he has a friend who turns out to be like a space traveler and kind of like saves him in the last minute, like beams him up into the spaceship, and so he escapes the demolition of Earth. And then so the whole book is just him going on this like really quirky, like alien-filled adventure in space. And it's really hilarious and really different and really funny, and there's like a lot of quirky characters and just like really bizarre circumstances, so I'm really excited to dive into this actually. Thank you so much, Mitch, for the gift. My friend Kirsty recently came to visit me, and she gave me a few books. The first one being Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. And I was excited about this simply because I'm trying to expand my classics collection. Up until this year, I had never picked up a classic just for fun, and I've been doing that. I've read Pride and Prejudice, I'm in the middle of Gone with the Wind, and I'm actually really enjoying them. It gives you a completely different perspective into a completely different culture and a completely different time period. It's like getting a snapshot of a different time period, and it's actually like really mind-opening. So I'm really enjoying getting my fill of classics and kind of diving into like a whole different literary category that I haven't really had the pleasure of doing so in the past. So I'm excited to have Wuthering Heights in my collection. Another one that Kirsty gave me is called Gardens of the Moon by Steven Erikson, and I have no idea what this is about. It's definitely a fantasy series. The only thing I know about it is that the series is freaking huge. I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one because right now I'm like series burnout. I just need to like get through some like short, normal size novels that are just kind of standalone. That's the goal right now. So I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one. I'll get to it eventually. But right now, I just need a breather. So I'm sure this series is really great, and I will read it eventually, just not right away. Another one that Kirsty gave me is, I'm totally gonna butcher this title, The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun by J.R.R. Tolkien. So this is a companion novel or book. It's a book of poetry in the Lord of the Rings fantasy world, which is really, really good because I'm actually reading Lord of the Rings right now. So I am excited to get into this one. I don't know when I will, but I will eventually. And the last book that I received from Kirsty, I'm actually kind of excited about because I've been meaning to read this series. It's The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I've definitely been wanting to dive into the Percy Jackson series for a long time now, and so I was more than happy to take this book off of her hands. So this boy who's almost ready to get kicked out of boarding school all of a sudden has a bunch of encounters with Greek gods and all these mythological monsters. So that sounds pretty sweet. I'm excited to get into this series. Again, I don't know when because my TBR is so long, but it is definitely higher up there. So this book is like, it's a definite read. It's going to happen. Thank you so much, Kirsty, for that haul. Anytime, girl. Anytime you want to unload, I will take it. So I went to the thrift store and picked up a couple of books. Me and Kirsty and my boyfriend Mitch all went together, and it was pretty fun. The first book I got is The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. I'm kind of excited about this book actually because I've been wanting to read it. I've been wanting to read some other writing by J.K. Rowling aside from Harry Potter to see what she does outside of the Harry Potter context, or like how her writing is outside of that context of the series that everybody knows and loves. So I'm definitely excited to see some of her like adult writing. This book is about a small town named Padford, and somebody dies prematurely in it. It sounds like the town had a lot of underlying problems, and his death sort of like brought all these problems to the surface. I tend to not really like political stuff, so we'll definitely have to see with this one, but yeah, here's to hoping that I like J.K. Rowling's writing outside of Harry Potter. Another one that I picked up at the thrift store that I'm super pumped about, and I think you guys will be pumped about too, is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. This book is about two guys who are in their senior year of high school. They think they have it all figured out until his mom makes him be friends with a girl who has cancer. Obviously, this book is really huge. It's been made into a movie. I've heard both good and bad things about it. I've heard people who think that this book is just really funny, just like laugh out loud all the way through. They thought it was so good, and they thought it was creative, and they thought it was a really different perspective on like the whole teenage cancer thing. But I've also heard people who thought that the humor was just like not for them. It was a little bit crude or just a little bit cheesy, and so it wasn't for them. So I've definitely heard both stances on this, so I'm definitely really interested to see what I think about it. And the movie is obviously a thing now, so I definitely want to get this read in before I see the movie, so I better get on that. The last book that I found at the thrift store was a totally random pick. I was just drawn to the cover and kind of drawn to the description of it. It seems like it's kind of like outside the box, a little bit of a different choice for me, but I'm kind of excited about it. It's called The Pillow Book of the Flower Samurai by Barbara Lazar. This book sounds like it's about a girl who lives in Japan, and she has it describes it as an auspicious omen on her, and she is training to be a samurai. But her real art is in storytelling, and so that's how she finds the power to like fight. Her fate is actually through storytelling, so it's a mix of like this samurai art and storytelling, and it just sounds like it might be a really interesting read. I bought a couple of books at the expensive bookstore this past month as well, and the first one being Graceling by Kristen Kishore. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names, like what else is new? Me and my friend Kirsty are planning on reading Graceling together and then doing a review on it. Hopefully this might be my first live review that I'm doing with somebody, so I will keep you guys updated so that you can know, read along with us if you want, and you can join in on the live show. This book is about a world in which people are sometimes graced with extreme skills, and those people are called Gracelings, and the main girl named Katsa is graced with the extreme skill of killing. That sounds pretty interesting to me. I don't really want to know much more about this series, but that is enough to really catch my interest. I think this book will be really good, and I'm excited to read it with Kirsty. The final two books in my, I don't know, triple-decker book haul, like the last 3 months, I have Lola and the Boy Next Door and Isla and the Happily Ever After. And I've had Anna and the French Kiss sitting on my shelf for like a few months, and I finally got around to reading it, and I loved it. Stephanie Perkins' writing, I just flowed through. I enjoyed every moment of it. I loved her sarcasm and her wit and her dry humor, especially with the character of Anna. So I'm actually really excited to get into the rest of the series. I finally got around to picking them up, and they are so beautiful. I think that's what I love most about this series, is actually just the way they look. The bright colors. These are some of my favorite covers on my bookshelf. I'm really excited to dive into these ones when I'm feeling like I need another easy romantic read. Alright, so that is it for my book haul for the last couple months. For someone that's trying to save money and read all of the books on her shelf before getting any more books added to her shelf, I'm doing a really bad job of it. Let's be honest. How many books do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 17 new books here. Let's see if I can lift this all up and get them in frame. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, 17 books. I'm really doing a bad job of not adding books to my shelf, but I mean, what can you do? I'm a book addict, just like the rest of you. If you guys have read any of these books or have any thoughts on them, let me know down in the comments or give me a shout out on Twitter. I'll put all my information below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!